Hi, Beth. I just have to share with you that I am seeing so many road runners running across the back of my yard. They're just so purposeful. They are always darting with such purpose and off to somewhere so revved up. And I remember that letter that you channeled from Carl connecting with the road runner named Carl, since you connect with animals so beautifully. And I went to pull a piece of it this morning, but he was sharing how much we have to remember that heaven is here on earth. And he says, in what you channeled, he said, and when I say heaven, I mean love. Many are searching for love in another, but the love I'm speaking about is the love from the highest source. And it was just talking about being our love and seeing this world as really heaven on earth. And it was just, anyway, every time I see these road runners, it reminds me of all these things that you're connecting with and channeling what the animals are sharing with us about our world, our earth, and ourselves.
Yeah. So here's what's funny. So yes, I connect with the animals. I can hear them. And as time goes on, I hear them very clearly. And Carl's message was of love, but they're the animals. I'd never know what's going to come from them. Sometimes it's very loving. Sometimes it's complete humor. I did in a reading, as you know, yesterday, a woman's cat came forward who was acting extremely funny and joking about her. And so it's amazing to me that I don't know the personalities that come through, and also, like, of course, the deeper message. So, for those of you, Barry and I are we've written a book where we channel messages, and we're kind of come out with a new book, which is an animal book, which is completely all animals, and it's a question and answer with the animals. So it's going to be so much fun. So I just want to share, since you're talking about road runners, I'm in Arizona. And so I get an opportunity, a break from the snow and the cold. And so I've been sitting outside, as you know, and there's birds everywhere. So I was walking a couple days ago, and I was walking by a building, and a bird flew right by me and then perched itself on the top of the building. And I looked up at it, and I could hear very clearly, "Polly want a cracker." And then I heard the bird, "Wait, why am I saying Polly want a cracker? That I'm not a parrot." And he was talking to himself, and he was saying, "That's not who I am. I'm not a parrot. I don't see those things." And I was laughing because, of course, nobody else is hearing this. And I'm like, sounds a little crazy. But I know that's what I was hearing. And this is a bird who is struggling a little bit with an identity issue. Just, they have the thoughts that come through are just like ours. That's what's amazing. Just because they can't speak does not mean that they don't have those thoughts and the feelings that we often do. So, and then another one bird very similar that looked just like that bird popped up, and he was talking about something different. So it wasn't as if it was just a general thing I was hearing. So I'm just noticing the birds here, and even this morning I sat down, and within moments, a whole flock of birds flew over my head. Like so many of them. And I just have to share one thing that's not even related to birds, but I was sitting outside, and a woman walked by with her French bulldog, who was so adorable. They're very cute. And the dog came up, and I was on like a porch, but the dog could get through, and was sniffing me, and came up, and I was petting him, and I think it's a he, and petting him, and just like having a good time for like 5 minutes. And she said, he has never done that. He's afraid of strangers. And I felt that there was an opening up of him by being in my energy. And I have felt that before with the healings I've done with animals. And in that split second, as amazing as that sounds, he was healed because he was a rescue. So,
well, I think the animals are sensing your energy, and you are so open to animals and so intuitive that they get it, that they know when, I mean, animals are so insightful, and they're so intuitive themselves that they know what, who to approach and why, the comfort and knowing that openness, but also that healing is beautiful.
But yeah, the openness is there. I mean, of course, you've heard that people can that dogs know people who are dog people, right? They'll go up to them. But this is, I am not used to talking about this because it's not understood by me, but I know it's the truth. But that this is a beyond just an openness. This is a healing that I'm coming onto and into with one of my gifts. And that this dog was healed. It wasn't just, oh, she's dog friendly. He has never gone up to anybody before. And the experience I had with a bird that I
That's
healed.
what I was thinking of, the bird down at the shore that was injured that you healed, which was just amazing.
Yeah.
Just with your presence.
Yeah. So it's fun. We're talking about our gifts, and we're going to be doing our Zoom call on gifts, and our gifts are always opening and changing. And my communication with animals is evolving into so much, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. There's a world.
The personalities are just priceless. I mean, what you're bringing through is so full of wisdom, but they're so quirky too. I mean, the animals are, like you just said earlier, there's so much a reflection of us. We are each our own personality. They certainly have that. Not all dogs have the same personality, just like the spider that you brought through. It's totally changed, Beth, the way that I look at spiders. I mean, he's Clydesdale, the spider that you channeled. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's so quirky and funny. And it just has totally transformed the way that I see spiders now. But they also are reminding us so rightly, just like humans, we are all different. We each we may all be humans, but we're all have different personalities. The same as they may all be bulldogs, but they have different personalities, and they also have different relationships and what they came, who they chose to be with. I mean, our animals are so loving, they're so giving, but they purposely, we think that we rescued the dog rescued us, right?
Yeah. And the thing about the animals, of course, they're so open, and many people have heard of healers that work with people, and it's their energy, and they help to move energy and flow and do, at times can do miraculous healings, at times healing in other ways. But the thing about animals is, because they're so open, and what many people don't necessarily know about healers is how we are and how open we are plays into the healing that happens. And if we're more open and aware, then the healing happens at a more dramatic level. And because dogs and all animals are naturally open, they don't have the minds and the thoughts that we do that get in the way, the doubts, that their healing can happen so much quicker and almost instantaneously. And even doing Reiki with animals that I've done, it's a short period of time, whereas we might be in a position of receiving Reiki for an hour. Dogs and cats and other animals are not like that. They don't need it. It's just it's not the same. It's amazing. So they're a reflection of how we can be. But if we were able to open up to our true essence, to relieve ourselves of all the negativity of those doubts. And it's not easy, and I get it, and I've been working at that too, because living in this physical world, in our bodies, we have those doubts because of our conditioning, because of living in this world. But it is possible, and I know we've been talking about that too, that to help with those thoughts, and even just having thoughts of, is this real? Can she connect with a roadrunner? And is his name Carl? And I just know that every name that comes through has meaning and purpose. And I laugh at them sometimes, and I've learned not to question them. And his name was Carl. He's Carl the Roadrunner.
I love it. But I think it also speaks to, they're such a gift to us. And they're also trying to help heal us, and bring love to us. I mean, they're so loving. You're reminding me too, Beth, of the horse that you communicated with, and you helped to bring forward the healing of that horse. The horse shared with you the backstory that you were able to give the information to the horse's caregiver, the owner, and the vet that was actually so instrumental to the healing of that horse. So that openness that you have, that healing ability and that gift that you have is so profound, because they're sharing pieces that are, sometimes we block ourselves. So how could we ever hear from this animal? But you're hearing the specifics that you're able to share with the humans to help facilitate um, help and healing, and that horse healed. And it's just really, it's extraordinary, but why not? I mean, there's so much. The more that we uncover from the other side, the more that we hear from the animals, we realize, oh my God, there's so much love. There's so much of this universal intelligence of the universe to bring us back into balance. And it's that interconnection. We're so connected, even though we feel like we're separate, but we're not. We're so interrelated and interconnected with one another.
Yeah. And even that information that came through for the horse was done in more of a reading way, meaning when I do my readings, I receive information from the animal in the form of words, phrases, images, or knowing. And that is, so people think of healing as separate from reading, like an animal reading versus an animal healing, but all information that comes through is healing,
Mhm.
because it's information that opens our awareness. And as you and I were talking about in our Zoom call on Wednesday night, just being aware and opening up our awareness is healing. It starts the healing process. That's
Mhm.
part of healing. There's so much more to healing than what we thought and what most people understand to be healing. Awareness is a huge thing, and information that comes through from the animals is all, it just starts the process of,
Mhm.
of healing for both the person and the animal.
And
So,
how beautiful that you're already healing, right?
yeah,
Just by bringing that, you said, into your awareness, and just by asking, they, again, the universe, and it's just saying, ask for these things, but it brings it into our consciousness. And that really, the consciousness is really that opening.
yeah,
And then it flows, and we're always being so cared for. We're always being surrounded with such love. And it's just to open ourselves to allow that, the highest love and that highest healing, to come through. And what you're doing so beautifully with your healing is, and your gifts, Beth, is to help to kind of facilitate and open people, but also to, sometimes we don't know where to look. We don't know what to, and helping kind of guide that process so that does move along. And I think it's just extraordinary what we hear back from people of the healing that's been done.
yeah,
Like the bird that you were talking to, that man that witnessed, these birds had been, injured for so long, and your presence in it healed, and he witnessed it. So it's a stranger witnessing it, which, just valid, not that we need any validation, but it just speaks to, yes, this really happened.
yeah, yeah. And the healing, and the information for the animal, when people ask, is always healing for the person. But we
Mhm.
don't even realize the healing we're receiving as well. And anytime we witness, receive information, are in the presence of that openness,
Mhm.
the both parties are healed, both parties
Mhm.
receive the healing, and both parties are being witnessed. And it's the witnessing, it's the openness that is the healing that
Mm.
comes through. It's really, it's a
Mm.
process that is natural for me, and I'm opening up to more about it, but is really a part of, within all of us. We just we just don't know it, and that's why I love what we're doing to bring this information in these soul talks, and in our Zoom calls, just to bring this information out, to witness each other, to talk about it, to understand that this is really normal. This
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
normal.
It's totally, yeah.
It's totally normal, and we're just not used to it. Just not used to thinking animals can communicate. We're just not thinking that we can communicate with the other side. And we are determined, Barrett and I, to talk about this stuff because it is normal, and we all have this ability. And if you're interested, join us on Wednesday night. We're going to have our our Zoom call on intuition and gifts, and how to open up to yours. So thanks
So
for
we hope to
coming.
see you there. If anyone has to get into that Zoom call, just it's YSG Zoom discussion on Facebook. So it's just asked to join. We'd love to have you. We do it every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all are welcome. And it's really wondrous. It's just extraordinary. And I'm excited more and more. As Beth mentioned, we're putting together this book of so many of the conversations that Beth is having with so many different animals. And they're so fun. They're so loving. They're so grounded, I mean, different personalities, just like all your friends, right? Your circle of friends have so many different personalities and so many messages to share with all of us. And that's what the animals are doing. So that should be out, this year soon. So anyway, our love to you. Join us again Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and have a great weekend.
Take care. Bye.